My name's David Leach and I'm currently serving as the pastor of Portrush Presbyterian Church up on the North Coast. I was a primary school teacher in East Belfast back in 2002, and as was my habit with my wife, we regularly came to Worldwide on that last week in August each year. I had grown up with a real missionary heritage, with my parents both serving as missionaries overseas in Nigeria back in the 70s and 80s. The joke was, as I was growing up and I went into primary school on a Monday myself, the teachers would often think we had cannibalistic tendencies because I always wrote about the fact that my family had another missionary for lunch on Sunday. But fast forward to 2002 again, and I had a very happy and enjoyable teaching career. That was what I was going to do for the rest of my life. But the Lord was beginning to work on our hearts with the service we were involved in our own congregation in Dundonald at that time. But we were sitting here in this very pew, in this seat, in 2002, and Don Carson, the very well-known author and theologian, was giving the closing address at one of those evening meetings. And he was speaking on 2 Corinthians chapter 5. And the verses that really spoke to us at that time, Paul writes, "And Christ's love compels us." It's all about the reconciliation that Christ brings between ourselves and the Father, our own sinfulness and the new creation that we have in Him, but also that desire that we are therefore then to be ambassadors, that we're to be fools for Christ, that we're to be those who go out of our comfort zone and are prepared to share that news of reconciliation with the world. That began a process in our lives over that next year, thinking, praying, reflecting over what the Lord would have us do about sharing that news of reconciliation, not just with the people round about us, in our own lives, in our own neighbourhoods, but far beyond. So at that point, over the next 6 months to a year, I began to apply for Bible college. And we felt because we wanted to maybe move out of our own comfort zone, I ended up moving across from Northern Ireland to Scotland and studying my theology in Edinburgh. During my 3 years studying there, our heart's desire was that we would go and serve overseas. That's where the Lord had planted in our hearts. But because I was working alongside and studying alongside lots of others who were seeking to be pastors in local churches, there was something that began to work in our hearts as well. During my final year at college over there, my wife and I went to any number of missionary conferences and knocked a few doors and sent a few application forms in. Nothing opened up, and we began to ask the question, what would the Lord have us do? Reluctantly, we felt the Lord was leading us back to Northern Ireland and to apply for ministry in the Presbyterian Church in Ireland. But we didn't want to lose that missionary zeal. And the thought of that time, sitting here in that pew all those years ago, well, we didn't want to lose sight of mission to God's world. That was God's call for us. So, having sat here in Hamilton Road Presbyterian Church, feeling that sense of call back in 2002, when I applied for ministry and was eventually placed as an assistant, which was completely out of our hands, through the providence of God, we ended up serving in Hamilton Road Presbyterian Church as the assistant and then the associate minister for nearly 10 years. And during that time, what a joy it was to be reconnected with Worldwide, to be involved in leadership in some way, and to be exposed to God's mission and God's world, and meeting so many missionaries from across the globe, having them in our home, sharing lunches with them, really being inspired once again. So when eventually I went to become minister in Union Road and Lecomfer in Macrofelt, it was a real joy then to reconnect once again with Worldwide and begin to host one of the satellite events, which has been long established now for nearly 10 years, and to help inspire a congregation and encourage them to look beyond our own four walls and beyond our own community to see that that really is God's purpose for us, that we are much bigger than just ourselves. We're part of the body of Christ, and how we support those in persecuted regions, but also those who are seeking and struggling, and how we get alongside them prayerfully and financially and practically. Having then moved from Macrofelt, spent a little bit of time teaching and training in Union Theological College, having then had a call to Portrush just over a year ago, what a joy it is to be involved in Worldwide once again by hosting a North Coast hub this coming August. So we're looking forward to inspiring another congregation, others in that region, to God's call to be involved worldwide with His mission for the church. So From the early days, sitting here in this pew and having the opportunity to learn and grow and be exposed to those great missionary speakers and hear God's call in our lives, that we are indeed to be His ambassadors, to bring reconciliation, that His love, Christ's love, compels us, thrusts us out to go and reach His world with His world. That's a joy to be part of once again, even this year. I encourage you to do the same, whoever you are, and let's see where God leads you in the years to come.